This video will cover the Geometry Regents exam from January 2015, questions 22 through 28. Number 22 says parallelogram ABCD with diagonals AC and BD intersecting at E is shown below. Which statement must be true? So here we have a parallelogram, and it's important to remember the properties of a parallelogram. There are 5 of them. The first property is that opposite sides are parallel, hence the name parallelogram. Opposite sides are also congruent. Opposite angles are congruent. Adjacent angles are supplementary, meaning they sum to 180. And the diagonals bisect each other. So we're going to run through these choices to see which one is true based on the 5 properties that we just wrote down. BE is congruent to CE. So this length here on one diagonal, they're saying is congruent to the other diagonal, CE. That's not true. If they had said that BE is congruent to DE, this would be true because the diagonals cut each other in half. They bisect each other. Number 2 says angle BEA, this angle here, is congruent to angle DCE, this angle here. Now notice that because these lines, these opposite sides are parallel, I actually get a Z formed here. It's a backward Z, but that's okay. And out of a Z, or a backward Z, we get alternate interior angles. And we know that these are congruent when lines are parallel. So I think that our choice is 2, but I want to be sure that I'm correct, so I'm going to check the other choices just in case. It says that AB is congruent to BC. Now AB is this top side, BC is the right side. We only said that opposite sides are congruent, and AB and BC are not opposites. The last choice, number 4, says angle DAE, right here, is congruent to angle CBE, right here. This is not true at all. I'm not sure how those would be congruent because they don't look to be the same size. They are not formed by parallel lines. So again, just not true. Giving us our final answer of choice 2. Number 23 says in the diagram below of circle O, the measure of angle ABC is 24 degrees. So ABC, 24 degrees. What is the measure of angle AOC? So I'm going to choose to call that X. Now we know that angle ABC is inscribed because it's on the edge of the circle. And inscribed angles are equal to half the measure of the arc. And the arc that it intersects is arc AC. Sorry, that's supposed to be an arc AC, like this. So here, if angle ABC is 24, then that's half of the measure of arc AC. So here I know that I essentially have 24 over 1 equals AC over 2. I can cross multiply. So now I have the measure of arc AC is equal to 48. Then, again, I'm asked for the measure of angle AOC. Angle AOC is a central angle. And a central angle is always equal to the arc. So if the arc is 48, then the central angle should also be 48, giving us choice 3. 24 says triangle A prime, B prime, C prime is the image of triangle ABC after dilation of 2. Which statement is true? When I come across questions like this, I always draw myself a picture. Triangle ABC, I label it as a 3, 4, 5 right triangle because it always works. Then we have the primes, A prime, B prime, C prime. And a dilation, that right angle is going to stay a right angle. Then each side here is dilating by a scale factor of 2, meaning we multiply by 2. 6, 8, 10. The first statement says AB is congruent to A prime B prime. That is clearly not true. AB is 4, A prime B prime is 8. BC is equal to twice B prime C prime. So BC is the length of 5. Is supposed to be equal to 2 times B prime C prime, 10. 5 is not equal to 20, so 2 is not our choice. The next one says the measure of angle B is equal to the measure of angle B prime. So here I know that angles after dilation are congruent. Just like right angle A stayed right angle A prime, while angle B, however many degrees it is the same as angle B prime. So here choice 3 is true. Angles are congruent in a dilation. Our final answers for this page are the following. Number 22 is choice 2. 23 is choice 4. 24 is choice 3. In the diagram of circle below, AD is parallel to BC. Arc AB is equal to 5x plus 30, and arc CD is equal to 9x minus 10. So what we're given here is a circle with parallel lines. And if we have parallel lines, parallel chords, then the arcs that are in between them are parallel. Because remember, distance between parallel lines is the same. So even with those arcs on the outside, the edge of the circle, they must also be the same. So I'm going to set them equal. 5x plus 30 equals 9x plus minus 10. I'm going to solve, so now I have 40 equals 4x. Divide, so x is 10. Don't choose choice 2. It says, what is the measure of arc AB? Arc AB is represented by 5x plus 30. So we have 5 times 10 plus 30, which is 50 plus 30 for a total value of 80 degrees. Choice 4. Number 26 says the bases of a prism are right trapezoids as shown in the diagram below. Which two edges do not lie in the same plane? So remember, planes are kind of like pieces of paper, except they extend infinitely in all directions. So here we have to find out which two do not lie on the same plane. So I'm going to go through and highlight them. If I find that they are on the same plane, I'm going to erase and try again. Because remember, we're looking for a knot. So it says BC and WZ. So BC is on this plane right here. WZ is on this backwards plane here. And they are clearly not on the same plane, so I'm guessing our choice is going to be 1. But I want to go through the other ones to show you why they are not true. Or rather are true but not our answer. Number 2 says AW and CY. Now you might say, okay, one of them is on this rectangular plane here, the other one's on this rectangular plane here, which is true. Except that we could draw a plane connecting these two lines. It's the diagonal plane between here and here. I know it's tough to see, it's hard to demonstrate this, especially on an iPad. But that diagonal plane going from the top corner to the bottom corner, connecting those edges, is a plane that contains both of those line segments. Number 3 says DC and WX. Again, same deal here. We could connect to make this rectangular plane that encompasses both DC and WX. And the last choice, number 4, says that we have BX and AB. It's very clear that those are on the same plane. They're on that base, AWXB. So again, choice here is number 1. Final answers, we have number 25 is choice 4, 26 is choice 1. Number 27 says, in the diagram below, A prime B prime is the image of AB under which single transformation? So we have to figure out what's happening here. Is a dilation, rotation, translation, or glide reflection? Now, a dilation is a shrink or grow. A rotation is a turn. Translation is a slide. And a glide reflection is a flip and slide. So sometimes it's helpful to look at the actual coordinates, such as A, which is at 2, 4, B, which is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, comma 1. A prime is at -1, -4. B prime is at +2, -1. It's clear to me that a dilation has not occurred because the distance between A and B is exactly the same. So I'm going to immediately cross off choice 1. Choice 3, the translation, is a slide, meaning just simply move it left, right, up, down. So if I were to take AB and slide it, it would end up something like this, or like this, or like this. Notice that it's pointing in a downwards direction every time I slide it. That's because a slide just moves it. It doesn't turn it, it just moves it. So translation is not our choice here because you can see that its image A prime B prime is facing in an upwards direction. So then it might lead us to conclude that it's a rotation. And I think that many students actually chose this answer, rotation, as their final answer, not actually giving it too much thought. Just saying, oh, A's rotated around, B's rotated around. But if you look at this, our rotation rules are the following. We can have x, y mapping onto -yx. That's a rotation of 90. We could also have it map onto -x, -y. That's a rotation of 180. Or map onto y, -x. That's a rotation of 270. But if you notice here, we have +4 going to -4, which maybe leads us to think that it's a rotation of 180. But here we have +2 going to -1. -1 is not 2 by any means, or -2 by any means. So it's not a rotation, which means that we're left to conclude that it's a glide reflection, which remember is a flip and a slide. If I take a second to flip segment AB over the x-axis, I would end up with a segment that looks like this. A prime, B prime. We'll choose to call the other ones double primes. So first I flipped, and then I could slide simply by moving to the left 3 to land exactly on top of A prime, B prime. So choice 4 is our answer for number 27. Number 28 says, for which diagram is the statement ABC similar to ADE not always true? So similar means that you have two congruent corresponding angles. I should say at least two. So here when we're looking at this picture, we have triangle ADE with this angle marked congruent to triangle ABC, this angle. Angle A is shared, which means it's reflexive. So here we do have AA similarity. So this is not our choice because we're looking for a not always true. In choice 3, just moving to the right here, we have a pair of angles here, and then also these vertical angles could be marked up. So then again, AA similarity, not our choice. In choice 2, we have triangle ABC with angle B marked congruent to angle D in triangle ADE. This is okay because B does in fact match up with D. And then this angle ACB is congruent to angle AED, which is fine because C does in fact match up with E. So again, this is AA similarity. So that's not our choice, which leads us to believe that choice 4 is the answer, but let's actually walk through it. Here we're looking at triangle ABC. ABC. So there's only one pair of angles marked in that triangle. And then if we look at triangle ADE, there's only, again, one pair of angles marked. There is another pair of angles marked in the picture that are congruent to one another, but they have nothing to do with our two triangles here and here. So because there's only one set of angles, I don't have AA similarity, meaning that the triangles are not similar, which means that choice 4 is our answer. So for final answers on this page, we have number 27 is choice 4, and 28 is choice 4.